Guys, my third year was a lot. It was a lot. I don't even mean to be extra, it was a lot. Hi beautiful people, welcome back to Authentically Real with your girl nomzz.mfundisi aka nomzz. Hi to the new subscribers. Welcome back to the returning subscribers. And hi to those of you who have not subscribed. I do not know why you have not subscribed. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also guys, please watch my ads. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so this video, you guys saw the title today. This has come as a highly requested video. Okay, so basically guys, with regards to why I chose accounting, so I did my BCom accounting at the University of Johannesburg. How I came to choosing that specific degree is that, if I must be honest with you, I think in high school I wanted to do journalism. There was a point where I wanted to be a psychologist. There was a point I wanted to be a dermatologist. Yeah, so like in high school I did physics, accounting, business. Hated physics to this day. I don't know why I took that subject. In so much of my time studying for physics, marks were literally like always in the 50s. I was miserable. Like, looking back, I don't even think I spent as much time, maybe in accumulation, like with all the other subjects, English, maths, Afrikaans, accounting, and business. If we accumulate all of that, I would say then yes, in total that would equate to the amount of hours I spent on physics. So that is something that I do feel like I don't want to say I regret. So yeah, those are the subjects I took, and I got to a point where I would say in matric where I didn't know what I really wanted to study, but I felt like accounting was a subject that it just clicked. I didn't have to spend a lot of time in accounting and it just clicked. Like I said, I could end up with a B and it just worked. That and business literally just worked for me. So I was like, okay, maybe staying in the commerce sector is something that's gonna work for me. And I thoroughly enjoyed accounting. In high school, I applied at UJ, at Wits. I did apply at Monash, I think, and UCT. UP was the one university that I had said that I did not want to go to, which is funny because they currently like #1 in accounting. But I think in my mind, I was just like, a lot of my high school people were going to tax, and I just didn't want to be in like a similar environment again. Not that I have anything against anyone from high school. I actually enjoyed majority of my high school with the people, but I just needed something different. So I ended up getting provisionally accepted at UJ, and the main university that I actually really wanted to go to, but it was UCT, to be honest with you guys. But my parents were just not for it. They felt like UCT was way too far, especially for undergrad. They wanted me like close by. So after that, my option was Wits. Anyway, so my matric results come. I ended up doing quite well, except for physics. And I ended up getting, my first response was from Wits, and then UJ also had responded positively, and Wits responded positively. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was gunning for Wits. Like, I literally told my mom, I was like, oh my word, you know, my university accepted me, I'm ready to go to Wits. And what had happened was I ended up getting a bursary under the University of Johannesburg, actually not from them, but under a specific foundation. A partial bursary from them, but majority of my fees for res and for my academics were covered under UJ if I was going to go to UJ. So my parents were really pushing for that, and they were like, UJ is the best in accounting, especially at that time. Which, honestly speaking, looking back, I am grateful that they pushed me to go to UJ, especially accounting. Yeah, so ended up going to UJ. If I must be honest with you guys, I wasn't happy. Even with them convincing me and pushing me, I feel like they low-key forced me. If I'm being honest with you guys. Yeah, but I think it was like, you know what, my parents paid so many like they paid a lot of money for my school fees in high school. So I think for me it was like, give them a break, sis. Give them a break. Like, just do it. But like I said, I was not happy at all when I got to Res, which is a different talk that I can do on its own. My first year experience, which is amazing, but I'm just saying Res was a shock on its own. So now let's go to how my first year was, right? Academically, I'm not going to speak about that type of stuff, but academically, actually my first year was amazing. And I'm not speaking just academic, I'm speaking socially, academically. Okay, so basically my first year, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my first year was a breeze. I'm not saying it in the sense of I didn't study or I didn't need to study. I had to put in the hours, I had to study, but it's not as much as I am now. In terms of like balancing both my academic life and my social life, I don't really think there was much thought into how I was doing it. I feel like then I was just living, guys. I was just go, you have to study, go, you need to go out, it's Thursday, go, it's the weekend, that type of thing. Because I stayed on the on-campus Res, and with the on-campus Res was very strict, and they had like a first year program, and in that first year program we used to have study time as first years. So from Monday, I think, until Thursday, we would have study time from 7 until 10 o'clock. So basically what that entailed was we'd have maybe seniors in the Res would come knock on your door and check that you were studying from 7 up until 10. Was it productive for me? I feel like it must have been productive for me, because I don't remember studying outside of those times unless it was exams. If it was exams, then trust I would be like in the library, or I would really be putting in the hours. I think my one struggle was with the module. It was macroeconomics and microeconomics. Honestly speaking, that was like gibberish to me. To this day, I don't understand. But with that specific module, I didn't do too well, but by the end of my first year, I'd actually done really well with it, and that was honestly because I crammed, which is not something I encourage. I do believe that you should study to understand. In terms of my academic average, I had gotten maybe about 68%, 67% average of my first year BCom accounting. Did I attend lectures? I feel like I attended majority of my lectures. Also, and mainly because I'd even say 95%, but because I had friends, I had a lot of like friends that were doing BCom accounting at that Res. So they collect you, they come fetch you, so there wasn't really any chance of me not attending class. Okay, then the end of my third year came. I got dropped by my bursary because I did not meet the percentage requirement. As I said to you guys, I'd gotten about an average of 67-68%, and they wanted a certain percentage from me in order to carry me forth. But with that bursary, they weren't like in me, like in my business or in my academic business. They would check up on me, like have contact sessions with me like twice in the year to see how I was doing, if I was coping. So my second year was a bit different because oh my word, I did a lot in my second year. I joined a society called ISAC, and I devoted quite a bit of time there. I started my internship, my accounting internship, in October. Earlier in the year, I had started my media fashion assistant with SA Fashion Week. Now, if I actually coped academically, I had an average of 63%, so I did drop, but not like by a lot. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I think my second year I was still like, okay, school is like, it's not a breeze, but it's like, school is still like a breeze, But I think towards the end of my second year, it started to shake a bit. So in terms of like my study schedule in my second year, I was not under the first year program anymore because I was in second year, so we weren't being checked on in terms of like studying. But I did try to keep the 7 to 10. I would study like outside of those times, and like I said, towards the end of the year I started the accounting internship, so that was also a juggle. And then in terms of my social life, I still was living my best. if I can say. That I don't even think that decreased, if I must be honest with you guys. But yeah, that's my second year. So then my third year came. My third year, I actually got awarded 2 bursaries, one under UJ Facet, and my other bursary was PPS. So basically, how that worked was, I know you guys are thinking that's unfair, but I wasn't aware of the PPS one because I think it was meant to be for my second year, but time and I don't know, it was a bit of a confusion type of thing, and it lapsed into my third year. And that, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my third year, my final year, is where things shook academically. I will not even lie to you guys, it was shaking. And weirdly enough, in my final undergrad year, I had now like added extra things. Like, I was still working the accounting internship. I left SA Fashion Week. I was the Cyper brand ambassador. I was with Business Women's Association Vet student chapter. I was a campus outreach, which is like a society that deals with ministry, Christian ministry. I was a campus outreach leader. So honest with you guys, I was extremely overwhelmed in my third year. I took on way too much. My studying had to increase, but I was still in the mindset of second year and first year where school is a breeze, or let me say mostly first year. I still had that mindset and kept that mindset going of school is a breeze. You don't need to put in a lot of time in order to pass. But it hit me like no one's business. I ended up in my first semester of my third year, I had a SUP for cost management. I failed the SUP. I failed cost management, which I ended up having a special SUP, because if you're in your final year at UJ and you fail a module, let's say you've passed all your modules for, under the record time, and you have one module that you failed, they let you write a special SUP. So it was a very emotionally taxing year, mentally taxing year in terms of my academics. I had too much on my plate. I was doing way too much. On top of that, I wanted to do my honors in taxation, which I did not qualify. And I ended up passing the special SUP first, which was a lot. I was praying and fasting a lot because baby girl was just like, I am trying to graduate in record time, Yeah, so I ended up not getting into BCom honors in taxation, which really was a bummer, because I think I got to a stage where I was like, I want to do internal auditing or taxation. And when I got declined based on the premise that I had not, I had a special SUP, it really was a bummer, because it was like, damn, like it was a bit obvious, like babes, like in terms of space, in terms of the honors classes, it isn't a lot. So how was I going to get in even with a special SUP? Looking at it now, I'm like, babe, space was an issue. And I ended up getting accepted into the BCTA course, which is, I've explained to you guys, it's a 2-year course. So it's like BCTA and then you do your CTA. It's sort of like CTA level 1 and CTA level 2. If I can say, for maybe other people that are in different universities. And looking at it, I think it is a blessing, because I started at UJ, my goal was to be a chartered accountant. As the years went by, I felt like I actually just wanted to specialize at that moment in a specific either internal auditing or taxation. But God, I feel like God put the vision in my head earlier on that CASA was the way, and sort of pushed me into that. And like even getting into the BCTA course was a blessing in itself, because I was under, it was a blessing in itself. Like the bursary that I was under in my final third year, they were so hands-on. They were in my business, they were in my academic business. Like they honestly were just literally guts wrenching in my business, and like I honestly cannot thank them enough. Like I said, I had just made it, I had just qualified to get into the course. My average for my third year was 56%. That honestly was my academic journey, my undergrad journey. Graduated in record time, and that is something that I actually do take pride in. This third year was shaking for me. It was doing that. Baby girl, it was shaking. It was a lot. My advice to anyone, remember what you're there for. Yes, do have fun, but remember that at the end of the day, remember to put your head down. I think, you know, for this course, I do believe that try aim high with your marks, and remember to have fun, or else, you know, my friend used to say to me, if you study too much, your brain will explode. So remember to have fun.